Okay, let's take a look at this problem. We got 2x to the third minus 5x squared plus 9x minus 9 equals 0. And instructions say use the rational zero theorem to find all the real zeros. Okay, first off, the number at the very end, our constant term, is our p, and the number before our leading term is our q. Now, we want to list down all the products to give us 9. We got 1 times 9, and we got 3 times 3. And since the 3 repeats, I don't have to write it twice. Now, this is actually a negative 9, so we think of all the possibilities that give that to us. Positive 9 times a negative 9, a negative 1 times positive 9. So to account for any possible signs, we put a plus or minus before each one. Now our q is 2, which is 1 times 2. All of our possible rational zeros is p over q. So I'm going to take each value of p and put it over each value of q. So I'm going to have 1 over 1. I'll have 3 over 1. I'll have 9 over 1. I'll have 1 over 2. I'll have 3 over 2. And I'll have 9 over 2. And again, to account for all the possible sign issues, we'll put a plus or minus before each one. Okay, so 1 over 1 is 1, of course. 3 over 1 is 3. 9 over 1 is 9. Then 1 half. 3 halves. And 9 halves. Now, we're going to take each one of these and plug them into synthetic division and see which one works here. So I'll start with positive 1. And 2, negative 5, 9, and negative 9. So again, off my polynomial. This is x to the third, remember, always. So add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and add. And let's just do a quick check. Okay, what we're looking for is we're looking for 0 here, which we don't have. So 1 isn't one of our answers. So I go to the next one, negative 1, because I'm going through the plus or minus 1. And again, since we're going with the original polynomial, this first one's always x to the third. I won't write it down again. Not till I find my answer anyway. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. What's that, negative 25? And, okay, so it's not 0. So let's go to our next one, positive 3. 2, negative 5, 9, negative 9. So 2, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and not 0, so no, negative 3. Usually the one I mess up on these is the one that's actually the answer. Okay, add, multiply, add, multiply. It's not looking promising. No. Next one is 9. Okay, add, multiply, add. I'm almost sure this isn't going anywhere. 7 to 117. 126. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, negative 9. Okay, add, multiply, add, multiply, 7, 2, 18, think 207. That's obviously not going to work. Okay, so my next one. I'm right here now. 1/2. Okay. So add, multiply. 1/2 times 2 is 1. Add. It's -4. Multiply. 1/2 times -4 is -2. Add, that's 7. That's 7/2. Don't know what that is, but it's not 0. -1/2. 2, -5, 9, -9. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and double check that. Nope, that's uncheck. Okay. Now we're to the 3/2. So add, multiply, 3/2 times 2 is 3. Add, -2, multiply, that's -3. Add, 6, multiply, 9. That looks good. Let me see, double check it. 2, okay, 3, -2, -3, 6. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, perfect. We found a 0 for a remainder. That means that we found our first answer. So x equals 3/2 is our first answer. Now this was x to the third. This straight down below will be 1 degree lower. So this is x squared, this is x, and this is no x, or constant term. Now once we get down to the x squared level, then we can use quadratic formula or some other technique to find the remaining answers. So this is 2x squared minus 2x plus 6, and then I set it equal to 0. Why do I set it equal to 0? We're finding zeros. Now I can factor 2 out of this, and that gives us x squared minus x plus 3 equals 0. Doesn't look like a factor, so I'll use quadratic formula. A is going to be what's in front of our x squared, which is 1. B is going to be what's in front of our x, which is -1. And C is going to be a number at the end, which is 3. And quadratic formula says -b, so -1, plus or minus square root of b squared, so -1 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. So negative gives us a positive, so we got 1 plus or minus square root -1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 1 times 3 is 12, all over 2. And get x is equal to 1 plus or minus square root of 1 minus 12 is -11 over 2. Now a negative inside of a square root comes out as an I, so it's I squared 11 over 2. Now split this up into x equals 1/2 plus or minus, and then square root 11 over 2i. Now these are our other two answers. Let me double check my work just to make sure. Okay, so factor out of 2, x squared minus x plus 3, and 1, -1, 3, negative b plus or minus -1 squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a, 1, minus 12. Okay, that looks right. Now, the instructions just say to find all real zeros. This does not fall in that category. So our only answer, according to their definition, is 3/2. If the instructions were to find all the zeros, all the complex solutions, real and non-real, it would have to include these down here too. But we didn't know that until we finished it. This gives you all of your possible rational zeros. That doesn't mean that it's not all your real zeros, because you can have real zeros that cannot be written as a rational number.